Hi, it's Tracy from Glitter Thumbs and welcome to class. This is the Cricut Explore Step-by-Step class. Step 3, uploading and editing your first image in Design Space. Now with school coming up in the fall, I thought it'd be kind of nice to make a card for my daughter, wishing her luck for the upcoming second grade season. So I have this cute little teddy bear here and we're going to try to figure out how to import that and edit it from there. Now, once you're in Design Space, you can either go in and make it now, go through all those projects. You can also create a new project down below, or you can open up your project on the top if you're working on one. But we're going to create a new project, and eventually I'm going to insert an image. But before I do that, I need to set my canvas, which means that I know I'm going to create a card. But as far as scaling the image to make sure it fits my card, it's kind of nice to have a background so that you know whether or not your image is going to fit and how they're going to fit on it. So you could choose anything from shirts and actually size it according to the size of the shirt that you want to put it on. Or you can choose just a basic canvas, which is blank, and go from there. But in this case, we're going to choose a card, and it was a rectangular card. And in the canvas properties that pops up on the right, you can change the size of your card and the background of your card. Now, it won't cut the card out. It just gives you an idea of what this card is going to look. So you will have to separately cut out this card. Now, under Insert Images, I'm looking at several things. I'm trying to figure out, number one, what kind of animal do I want to put in here? Now, we saw earlier that eventually is going to be a bear. But I'm looking in all image sets. I'm looking for anything with school. Maybe Creative Friend has some cute little things in there. So I'm kind of browsing through here, looking to see what kind of image I want to put into my card. All of these are from one image set called Creative Friend. And they do have some really cute things. And in my other importing and editing YouTube video, I did have a little girl with a uniform. But this case, I wanted a little bear. So I'm looking through. This one is a set also, but it's charged. Here's Create a Critter 2. Looking through there, trying to find this little bear. Now this is a longer way of figuring out what to do. Now, you'll see the next step in a minute. But you could browse through each one of those image sets or cartridges and try to find the right little guy. It's fine, but like I said, there's several different ways that we can go about inserting an image. You can actually search for a single image, or you can go into your image sets. And all of these down here say purchased because I did buy, or subscribed, excuse me, because I did subscribe to the monthly newsletter. Now, what I'm going to do is go back and I'm going to search. I'm going to search for school. Now, if I look in school, I see that little girl that I used before, and I see anything that applies to school. So if I keep scrolling down, it's going to include all of my uploaded images, which I will be teaching that class next, or subscribed or purchased, or images that are that you can purchase. I'm still not seeing quite what I want, but I did change that a little bit to add school and bear because I know that's the image I want. I just have to figure out how to add that in. So I'm looking through, I'm starting to see things that look a little bit like that bear that I had my eye on. And I see that little schoolgirl. See, it's still coming up. More bears. See, look how many you have access to, and that's a great thing too. And there's the little bear. Yay, I found her. Now, so I know for future reference, she is in Teddy Bear Parade. So if I clicked on her and said I want her in my image, but also I want to look at the set, all I have to do is click on that little link down below that says Teddy Bear Parade. This is the cartridge that it took that bear out of, and you have access to all of these through your subscription. So all these little bears for all different occasions, football, ballet, sports, all that you can use. But I'm just going to use this one little bear. And if you look, even if I cut her just now, she'd be an inch wide. She'd be too small for my picture. So this is when you would use that template, that canvas, to figure out how big you want this little bear to be on your card. You can also rotate her on the side, figure out how you want her to lay on your canvas. You can move her around, you can enlarge her, or you can reduce the size as well. So I think that's a good size. Now on the right hand side, there are different layers as well. And these layers give you the ability to hide them. See, like her little glasses. My daughter doesn't have glasses, so I don't necessarily need to show that. The other thing I can do is change her skirt color. So all I have to do is click on the skirt and change the color itself, and you can see how it looks. The glasses themselves, I want to get rid of. So on the right-hand side where there's an eye, you click on it, and it will remove that cut. Now it's hiding it. Not only that, so you can see how it looks, but it's also going to not cut it. So even though it's listed as a layer in the Layers tab, you will not have to worry about it cutting. Or if you change your mind, no problem at all. Now down on her shirt, I know I want to put BSCS for her school. So I'm going to insert a text. I'm going to put BSCS on there. And this is going to be cut out in whatever color I want. Now you can change the font, and I'll show you that in a minute. You can also change the font so that it will write instead of cut, and we will discuss that as well. But right now, that BSCS is separate. It will cut and have to be glued separately onto the shirt itself. So from there, it's just a matter of enlarging it, moving it to the right area, and figuring out what do you want to do with it. The other thing is that badge right there. I'm going to go ahead and click on that eye to the right of it to make sure that it's not in the way. So from there, I can change the color of the actual BSCS, or I can do another thing. I'm thinking I want to write it on this shirt, and I know I'm going to do it. So I'm going to set this BSCS and move it aside. And I'm going to select the entire image. Now, right now, all the images are grouped together so that they're scaled together. But if I ungroup them, I can actually take the red and set it aside. I want to do this because eventually that BSCS I want to have written on only the red. So when it cuts it out, it's not only going to cut it, but it's also going to write it. Now, it's hiding right behind that layer. So I'm going to go up to the Arrange button. I'm going to move it forward. If you notice that you're moving it forward several times and you're just not seeing it, go ahead and move it to the very front. That way you can see where it is, and you won't have to, play too much with move it forward, move it forward, move it forward, which kind of gets a little annoying. Now it's exactly where I want it to be, but I don't want to cut it. I'm going to want to write it. So number one, I can change the font to Cricut Alphabet to something else if I want, to make it look a little bit different. Now, something I have noticed with Design Space right now is that you normally should be able to go up to the section that says all fonts. And if you clicked on that, you could pick a font that has a writing style, which means that you're going to use the pen to write the BSCS. Sometimes it doesn't come down and I get bored waiting for it, and so I just know from experience that the Cricut alphabet is actually the one that has a writing style. But you can see what I've done here is I've changed the font, and I can change it to a bold, I can change it to an italic or an italic bold, but that's still going to write the outline of the BSCS with the pen. It's not going to actually write it. So I want to go back to, if you see it right there, we can change the color, that's fine. But if you want to actually write it with a pen, like a writing style, then you need to pick a font that allows you to do that. So I'm going to click on Write, and I need to change the color to a legible color. I can't see very well that BSCS. So I automatically tend to go to the midnight. So that's something for you to think about, is making sure that it's legible. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into the Cricut text. And there's me trying to go into all fonts, and it just takes too long. I get impatient. I do. And then we're going to go into the Cricut alphabet, because I know that that has a writing style. And there it is right there. And I'm going to change it to writing. Now look what happens to the BSCS once you click on that. Number one, the color is a little off, so I'm going to change the color as well. But I can make it larger so that you can see it better. And I'm going to change the color to that midnight black. Now here's the thing. You can think that you have it on the red, but that doesn't mean it's going to write on the red. So once you get it in the proper location, you're going to want to select this shirt and draw a box around it. Then you're going to click on the Attach button. Now, whether I scale it down or move it around, that BSCS is going to write on the red that cuts out. So that's what you really need to make sure is when you push go and look at this preview screen and you notice that the BSCS or whatever text you have writing is not where you want it to be, chances are you did not attach them together. So now that's done. I'm going to place it exactly where it was. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out a little bit so I can see better. And I'm going to group them together again because I want to make sure that when I move this little teddy bear that it's going to be all the same. See, I'm moving this, it's not working, so I need to put them back together. And that way when I scale it, it's going to work all together. It's going to be a lot nicer. So draw a box around it with a left click. As soon as I can get this all lined up, there we go. Okay, so draw a box around your little teddy bear. You want to make sure that everything is selected. Come on. There we go. And now you're going to group them together again. From there, I can scale her down again. She's not going to be that big on my card. I hope that makes sense. The next part of this is creating a frame around it. And I had a couple ideas, and you can see from the card itself that I did actually do this. So I have an idea, but I want to search for all images, a rectangle. And the reason why I chose a rectangle is I want to eventually cut out a frame out of this rectangle. And so I'm actually going to weld together two images. Here's our little rectangle. I'm actually going to turn it at 90 degrees. And then I'm going to scale it to make it just about the size of half of that card. Now it's hiding the teddy bear, not a big deal. Let me get it to the right size first, and then I will move the teddy bear to the front. Okay, so I'm actually going to go in there, change the color, and now I'm going to take the image and move it to the very back. So there's that teddy bear. She's now up front. And now I'm going to insert another image. Now for the search, I wanted to add a frame. So what I'm going to do is insert the images again. And I'm going to search frame. Now I've already started that and I picked a frame. And I'm going to insert it. Now the frame comes in 2 layers, and I don't need those 2 layers. But just to get the teddy bear out of the way, let me move that real quick because we don't know how big she's going to be. We can kind of have an idea with a frame, so here we go. We're going to move the frame in front of the teddy bear and enlarge it to where we want it to be. Excuse me. I don't want that second layer behind it in yellow. I just want the regular frame. So I can move the teddy bear now. So I'm going to set that frame aside so I can move the bear and move it back. Now I want the Explore to cut out that frame out of the red. So I'm going to select the entire image and I'm going to click on Weld. Now when it welds together, it changes the color. That's fine. We can fix that to red. But do you see the outline? It looks like a scalloped edge. That's going to be the outside of the frame. The rest of it inside, I don't necessarily need or want. So those are going to be scraps to set aside and maybe use later. But if you look, that teddy bear is going to fit perfectly inside of the frame once it gets cut out. Now I have my little teddy bear, and I want to do a couple more things to it. Number one, I need to add a text. I need to put in good luck, and it's already set to Cricut alphabet and right, so I don't need to change anything as far as the writing itself or the lettering. I'm going to scale it down so that it fits the card, and then I'm going to select the entire image and attach. Now that's why we moved the teddy bear out of the way. It would not attach if that teddy bear was involved. And now you can see why it's important also that we have the right size card as a background, because there is a potential without it that you can go a little bit too large. Teddy bear is going back, but she is behind the image now, so I'm going to arrange her to the very front. There she is. Now, like I said, you're going to see those little background pieces, the square that is going to be cut out, but I'm not going to use it. From there, you can click on Go. And this is going to be really great because it shows you a background or a preview of what is going to be cut. So if you notice something that's just off, that's going to be great for you to go back and fix it before you invest your machine in cutting the images out. Now going down to the next couple of images, you're going to see a couple of things. Number one, there is the writing tool right there. So that looks perfect. Everything's been attached. And I can move these images around to save paper. But the other thing is that the frame itself, which is the next one right here, is a different color red. And I didn't realize that when I was initially working with this specific card. So I'm going to close it, and I'm going to just get rid of this background of the canvas. I don't need it. I need to select on anything and go to the right and click on Sync. Sync allows you to change the colors so that they all match together. So the apple doesn't need to be a dark brown. It can be black. So I'm going to drag it to the black section and it will change the color for me. The same with the reds. I don't necessarily like the dark red. So I'm going to change the little bear outfit to that lighter red. Now I'm going to click Go. And you're going to see the preview of the black mat first. You'll see the apple, which I can move around. It is a separate layer, so I can work with it fine. And the blue looks great. The teddy bear looks great. Now the teddy bear I can move around, but not in individual pieces because it is a separate layer. And going into the gray, I can move this around. And the red. The red looks really great because it's showing you that it's scoring and cutting, and everything looks wonderful. So from there, you could simply click on Cut. And like I said, that is generally gone over in the Cricut Explore Step-by-Step Step 2. Once you've cut and assembled, this is what your finished card should look like. In this class, you just learned how to attach and detach, how to weld images together, how to ungroup and group as well. Stay tuned for future classes. They will come up very quickly. And to stay in the know, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. For more information or inspiration, visit my website at www.glitterthumbs.com. Thanks for watching and have a good day.